Hey guys, how you doing? Yeah, we're here. We're here to talk about, you know, what's going on today is that the big beautiful bill passed, and there's a lot of stuff in it, and there's a lot of stuff that some people think was in it, like Elon Musk. Elon Musk, is upset because he didn't get that free subsidies, so he could just keep on building. I think I said it before. Listen, everybody, Facebook, all these construction companies, all these tech companies, all these technology companies, it's from the military. And then they're subsidized. They're given money, billions, millions and millions to come up with stuff. And remember, the dollar's not backed up by gold, metal, silver, or anything. They're just printing this out, just printing it. They don't care. What they care about is technology, advanced technology, being the strongest in the country, in the world. That's what they care about. The US dollar currency is backed by the blood. The blood. It's backed up by blood. Debt. So, right here, we got this right here, where the Senate narrowly passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. It was 50-50, and Vice President J.D. Vance cast in the tie-breaking vote. The Senate version of the bill now goes back to the House for consideration as Congress attempts to meet President Trump's July 4 deadline. Congress, they're not going to need it. You're going to have to wait after. The July 1st Senate vote followed a lengthy vote on proposed amendment that lasted more than 24 hours. Yeah, it was very long. It goes on and on. That, the legislature will cause 11.8 million Americans to be displaced from their health care. Okay, that's what they're saying. Now, we're going to talk about what they mean by health care. When they talk about health care, they're talking about LGBTQ, transgender, them being able to get money to pay for it, because they can't afford the health care. They're taking our taxes to pay for people in prison to get sex change. They're taking our taxes and that goes to the health care. When you get your W-2, look at it, or is it W-2 or W-4? And look at it, it'll say FICA, Medi-Cal, Medicare, and something else. They're all taking money out of, and how many people are here? In the United States corporation, close to 350 million. And out of that, 200 million are workers, are blue collar workers. So they're working. And they're paying that taxes, they're paying that FICA, they're paying that Medi-Cal. And that money is going to who? The internationals, the Democrats. It's going to the Persians, to the Asians, to the Italians, to the Israelis, to the Ukrainians, injured soldiers in the war, their secret wars. We're paying for that, even if it's a penny that's coming out of there. Even though you only make whatever you make a week, your money's coming out of there and it's supporting them. A penny from 300 million people. That's you do the calculation. Our money's being sent to prisoners so they could have a sex change. The system is messed up. We're paying for all the mistakes the government make. Not this government, not this administration, But what the government makes, they create the problem, and then they take our money and create the problem. Then they take our money to solve the problem. Then they don't want to solve it because they don't want to make you well. They just want you to maintain your health. It's because that's what they get you coming back, getting that medicine, that prescription. But anyway, that's what they're talking about when they say healthcare is dead. Yet it was dead, because what happens when you go to the hospital? You still have to pay 50%. They're telling you, they're taking money out of your paycheck, and then they when you're at work, and then they try to sign you up for sign up for our healthcare coverage with AAA or American Association. They provide if you for dental, sickness, and other stuff. So they're taking $25, $30 from your paycheck, $40, and you've been paying this stuff. Say you've been with the company for 8 years, you paid it all up to 8 years. You go to the hospital, they say your bill is $500. Do you have any coverage? And you say, yeah, I got Medi-Cal, I got Medicare, I got my work insurance. Oh, okay. All right, so that you think that $500 is going to be like, $80 is going to come out of your pocket. It comes out that all that stuff you're paying, it only took out $120. You have to pay the rest of it. You got to pay the $380. So where's the benefit? You see? So Trump is trying to change that. He wants to make it better.
Burnout looks like for solo founders. Busy weekend in Washington. Madeline Rivera is at the White House, where President Trump is following the action on the bill. But let's begin with senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram. He's live on Capitol Hill. So set the stage for us, Chad. What's going on right now?
John, good afternoon. Well, Tom Tillis did not always align with President Trump. His retirement announcement triggered a shockwave on Capitol Hill. Tillis was one of 2 Republicans who voted against starting debate on the bill last night. President Trump lit up Tillis. He said Tillis was making a, quote, big mistake opposing the bill. He then threatened to primary Tillis. Tillis worried about health care provisions in the bill. Democrats boomeranged his opposition against the GOP.
The big and not very beautiful bill that we are about to vote on here in the Senate is going to cut $900 billion out of Medicaid. Don't believe me? Listen to Senator Tom Tillis. He's been saying loudly, this bill is a bad deal for the middle class. It'll raise...
Hold on. Time out.
Healthcare costs.
Let's go to the bill. Here we go. This is Rules Committee print, short title: the act may be cited as the one big beautiful bill. The table of contents of this act is as follows. You guys, you gotta make time. I know that you got a family, you got kids, you got work. I know you're working like hell, you're making that good money, but we gotta take a time off. We gotta say, what the hell are they teaching my kids at school? Honey, baby, let me see your book. Let me see what's going on in here. You gotta take the time and go down to the city council. Go find out who your mayor is, who is in charge of your city, who your treasurer is, so that when you want to go to the bank and get a loan, you're like, oh, I know the treasurer for the city. Oh, he's a good guy. You give him a recommendation. You see, you got to build the Armenians are very good at this. They're very good at this. Building a community, getting involved with. That's what black people they don't want to get in. They don't want to go know the politicians in their community. It's only like a few, but they're related. You see, but everybody else is like, they don't know who the mayor is, they don't know who the treasurer is, they don't know who the clerk is, they don't know nothing. They're just out here working. Black community got to stop that. We got to get involved. It's not all about entertainment. So we go over here. It says Medicaid, reducing fraud and improving enrollment process. Section, implementing a rule relating to eligibility and enrollment in Medicare savings program, ensuring appropriate address verification. Okay, wow. Medicaid provider screening requirement. Okay, see, they're a U.S. citizen. Revising home equity limit for determining eligibility for long-term care service. Okay, increasing frequency of eligibility redetermination. Removing good faith waivers for payment reduction related to certain earning. Okay, modifying retroactive coverage. Ensuring accurate payment to farmer. Oh, because of the fraud. I know what they mean by that. They be lying on there. Yeah. Trump is very big on that. He's very, very big. I know he's going to attack that because remember, he put that person in jail because they raised the price of their prescription to like $500 a pill. They told him to lower the price. He did it, so they threw him in jail. Prohibiting, you know what, and it's not right, but I know those kind of people. I know those kind of people. Those kind of people are very, very evil. And he looked like one too. They knew who he was. That's why they threw him in there. Everybody knew. They're like, this is the devil. Federal payments to prohibit entities. You mean you already come from a rich family. You know, it's not like you need money. Ensuring accurate pay. Maybe he's trying to compete with the OnlyFans girl who made $78 million in 1 year. That means that she's gonna make $100 million next year. That's this year. She's on OnlyFans making $100 million a year. Everybody's upset. Ensuring accurate payment to pharmacies under Medicaid. What the? Ensuring accurate payment. I leave some screens open, but I don't want to. Ensuring accurate payment to pharmacies under Medicaid. Yeah, so we're talking about that. So what Trump wants to do is, I believe so. We got to look it up. Is make sure that the pharmacies are not ripping the customers. Moratorium on new or increased provider taxes, revising the payment limit for certain state-directed payments. Okay, increasing personal is that personal accountability individually. Affordable Care Act, this is the Affordable Care. Addressing waste, fraud, and abuse. That's what we're just talking about. They got it right here, and they got it right here. I told you, Trump gets heated when it comes to this. If you're doing any fraud in Medicare, please stop. Take time out. Take a 8-year break, because he's gonna come for these people. Doctors are gonna be going to jail, and dentists, and lawyers. Modifying update to conversion factor under the physician fee schedule under the Medicare program. Modernizing and ensuring PBM accountability. See that? PBM accountability again. Oh. CPAs, certified public accountants, go to jail every year. Every month there's a CPA going to jail because of PBM accountability. I don't know what PBM accountability means in Medicare, but it's big in accounting. Public Company Accountant Oversight Board, Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection. This is the committee. Okay, Okay, we're going to something else. So they were talking about Medicare. So it looks good to me. I don't see nothing wrong with it.
And throw millions off of needed health care.
Tillis won his two previous
No, this is
races by
Tillis.
about 2 percentage points. Tillis also had reservations until the last minute about supporting Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense. But even other Republicans from North Carolina see the bill differently from Tillis. Greg Murphy is a doctor.
The last thing as a physician I want to do is hurt a system that is already hurting as it is. But I also want to get back to the fact that there really are some things within the system as it is right now that are ridiculous and need to go away.
Democrats believe they can weaponize the big, beautiful bill against vulnerable Republicans.
What this does, the baseline is all these cuts, all this cutback on health care to provide the wealthiest in our country a disproportionate share of tax cuts. It just doesn't seem fair. And the more we can get that out, I think this will be a political albatross.
Now, this means Tillis likely opposes the big, beautiful bill. GOP Kentucky Senator Rand Paul also voted nay last night. Senate Minority Leader Chuck.
Because he's a fraudster. He wants our taxes, U.S. citizens. He wants our taxes to be going to pay for sex change, transgender, international. We're paying for people to have surgeries in Turkey, Saudi Arabia. What the hell's going on here? We're doing sex change in Kenya. No, you gotta stop. I want my money back.
Schumer compelled Senate clerks to read the entire 940-page bill out loud. That's gone on since 11 p.m. last.
Look at Libya. Medicare was free. Up to a certain amount, they'll pay 80%. That's what Gaddafi was doing for his people.
Last night, their voices are wavering.
If you're a man who makes at least 150 grand a year and you're still embarrassed to take your shirt off at the pool, I will get you chiseled like a Greek god faster than you can imagine, or you won't pay a dime. This is very...
In fiscal year
This line.
2026, fiscal year 2026,
They are out of this. They're out
66
off the read.
million to be derived from all contributions.
Follow my lead, okay?
And to remain available until the end of fiscal year 2035
See, we need
for
more
the
black.
Director of
We need
Office
more black
to
people
carry out
up here.
subsection C through F.
It can't be all
Now,
white
just
people. up
as we
there.
were listening to that soundbite of the clerk, John Thune, the majority leader, I should say, has taken the floor. They have ended reading this bill. Again, they were at it since 11:08 last night. And so this is the first time we've heard anybody on the Senate floor other than one of the Senate reading clerks going through that 940-page bill. This is Bernie Moreno, the Republican senator from Ohio, in the chair right now. So what we should have starting here very soon, John, is actual debate on the bill. Under the rules, there are up to 20 hours of debate. Now, we don't think that they will consume all of that. The Democrats will probably consume their 10 hours. It's split to 50-50. Republicans do want to talk for a little bit here, so we probably imagine, a few hours there, maybe 3 or 4, and then they start this lengthy vote series, which could alter the bill. That's what they call a vote-a-rama. That's where they take roll call vote after roll call vote after roll call vote. Now, again, there are amendments there that could change the bill, and that worries some House
my God.
conservatives.
You're gonna
But
put me to
earlier this
sleep, bro.
afternoon, I was texting back and forth with the Ways and Means Committee Chairman.
When the Senate passes the one big, beautiful bill and Congress sends it to my desk. To my desk.
Hey, you see how Melania Trump is at the back like that? You know what? Southern American women, they know how to give a man space. You know what I mean? If it was a black woman, or the Caucasian woman would be looking over your shoulder like, and then the black woman would be all up in your chest right here, like she wants to snatch the paper out of you. She's like staying at a distance and letting him read the bill.
Beautiful bill, and Congress sends it to my desk.
But they're sneaky. I bet you Trump's gonna go after the guy that owns 80% of American land. He's gonna go after him and be like, what the hell you need all that land for? You're selling it back to us. We're taking it, or you're selling it right now. Trump's gonna do that to him. I forget his name. It's gonna come to me. Okay, this right here is called a dome. And a dome means dominant. Your dominance. Domain. And you're inside the dome that they control. So you're in their cloud right here. They're demanding, they're dominating you. Domain. And this is their belief of a white heaven for white people only. And they're looking down on you, governing you. And that's the way they want it here on earth, as it is in heaven. So people going around saying there's racism, this is how you gotta look at it right here. This is racism right here.
Meet Asana, a work management platform that helps companies get more done and save you time. Teams can stay connected and track and smart visualized timelines. Asana, smart retail.
So it says the prohibit. Democrats urge a parliamentary office to keep making cuts. Yeah. President Trump said he wants the bill signed and on his desk by July 4th. Within 10 years, the bill alone could add $3.3 trillion. Trump is forever rich.
Beautiful bill.
One big, beautiful bill.
One big, beautiful bill.
It's how he hopes to bankroll his second-term agenda in the White House. But what exactly is the president's big, beautiful bill? Well, it is big, 940 pages of policy. But on the question of beauty, the United States Congress is divided. In the House of Representatives, it got through by a single vote.
The bill is passed.
The Vice President's vote breaking a 50-50 tie in the Senate.
The bill as amended is passed.
The big beautiful bill is ambitious in its scope, covering so much ground for the White House in one piece of legislation.
The bill as amended is passed.
The big beautiful bill is ambitious in its scope, covering so much ground for the White House in one piece of legislation. It extends tax cuts for working and middle-class Americans. It prioritizes...
Oh no. I'm sorry, guys.
It's the big beautiful bill.
And reduces food aid. It's not just Democrats who oppose it, even some Republicans are concerned. But challenging Trump comes at a price. Senator Tom Tillis voted against, saying the bill breaks promises on health care. And he's now announced he won't seek re-election in North Carolina.
What do I tell 663,000 people in 2 years or 3 years when
President Trump breaks his promise by pushing them off of Medicaid because the funding's not there. Elon Musk brands it political suicide for Republicans, claiming it will add up to $5 trillion to the national debt. The president threatening to deport Musk, the head of his Department of Government Efficiency.
Shows you the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible?
Lawmaking in America is a complex business. Democrats forced a full reading of all 940 pages in the Senate, and then a vote-a-rama, a series of marathon voting sessions. So the president hit the phones, and the vice president stayed close
Elon
to the
and
Capitol.
Trump.
Well, the Republican Senate just passed Trump's big, beautiful bill today, which has been described as the worst bill in the history of the United States.
No,
and it very
it's
much
not.
appears, as Elon said, they're now casting you into a future of being a debt slave. Or for many of you, they're throwing your future away. Locking in being the first generation in American history that will live a life that is harder than the one that your parents lived. According to experts, it looks like nearly 20
That's
million
what
people
we're
are
living
going to
right
lose their
now.
health care
What are
due
you
to
talking
Medicaid cuts,
about?
and your health care premiums will rise by $26,000
That's
a year.
right
Threatening
now.
food assistance for the poor and have sentenced rural hospitals to death. I mean, you Democrats put
That's why would I pause on the other one? That's right now. He's talking about what's going on right now. He's a Democrat.
proposing an amendment to the bill to make sure that veterans, kids, and the homeless aren't denied food assistance, and Republicans voted against it. They blocked it. And so you have critics of the bill out there saying, the air that we breathe is going to be smoggy and unbreathable because they're killing renewables and investing in burning coal again.
Food assistance, the people in Ohio were starving. They said $700 for the whole month, while they were giving illegal immigrants free food, free shelter, and everything. Hypocrites.
The power blackouts are going to become a more normal affair in America, and you're going to have to pay more for that power as well. And now ICE, who many have said are acting like a secret police, are going to have secret police-like
That's not
numbers.
right.
Thanks
You
to the
are-
bill. Many of you watching are also going to have to pay more in taxes than you did last year. But also, I mean, think of the billionaires who get their break in taxes. Or at least that's a positive. And hey, I'll get some pushback now, but in the future, when you're slowly watching your parents die of cancer or Alzheimer's, make sure to thank Republicans and Donald Trump for not only getting rid of breakthrough cures, but also making sure that they had no health care. And on that list of people you can thank Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, who got her state exempt from all this bullshit in order to vote for it. Right? And that is, her defense for voting for it is that she hopes that the House doesn't pass it. I mean, they fucking tricked half the population. But hey, for now, follow to stay in the loop.
Shut up. Speak on it.
House Republicans are once again moving forward on trying to pass the Senate version of the big, beautiful bill. We are back in action on the floor after the floor was frozen all day long. House Republicans want to pass this thing tonight. So right now, the House is voting on the rule. That is just a procedural vote that will govern the rules for the debate on the big, beautiful bill. All of the Democrats are going to vote no on this. They have no part in this bill at all. So this is going to fall on Republicans to get across the finish line. Now, that rule vote will really give us an idea of how pissed off Republicans really are. Remember, I've been telling you that lots of House Republicans are angry about the Senate version of the bill that they are now being forced to accept. And using this procedural vote as leverage may be a way for them to try and get what they want. So we're going to have to keep watching it. It's also possible that some of them will vote yes on the rule, but no on the actual bill, or no on the rule, but yes on the bill. Anything can happen. And if it looks like this rule is...
They already did the vote. This is past tense. But it's good to know what's going on. What went on. Republicans no longer have to vote to advance Trump's big, beautiful bill as Democrats erupt into cheers and celebrate the sudden shift on the floor. Huh? As Democrats erupt in cheers and celebrate the sudden shift. What? The Democrats liked it? I don't understand.
Just moments ago, the Senate passed President Trump's big, beautiful bill. It was tight. Final vote was 51-50, with J.D. Vance, the vice president, needing to show up and break the tie.
Just moments ago, the Senate passed President Trump's big, beautiful bill. It was tight. Final vote was 51-50, with J.D. Vance, the vice president, needing to show up and break the tie. Republican Senators Rand Paul of Kentucky, Tom Tillis of North Carolina, and Senator Susan Collins of Maine all voted no, along with every Democrat. Senators were voting all night.
We already knew that.
It is midnight and the big
They're calling
bill is
Congress
still
and like,
open
don't let
for
that bill
a
pass
vote.
until
This very
July
point,
4th.
5 Republicans are a no, and then 8 others kind of holding out. And Mike Johnson's keeping the vote open as long as possible as they're trying to go to these lawmakers.
What the hell is happening on the House floor with the big, beautiful bill?
Damn, she's how many? God damn.
President Trump's big, beautiful bill is now a big, beautiful brawl. Or maybe sort of a made-for-TV brawl. That not necessarily
These
bad
are all
for Republicans.
Democrats.
So the key components of this big, beautiful bill is that no tax on tips. And you can see this from the White House saying, check mark, the one big, beautiful bill delivers the largest tax.
The Democrats put tax, they're the one that passed the bill to tax tips. That was back in like 2016, 2017. Trump took that out. He cut it. Yes. So now the ladies are back in the restaurant making money, getting that tip. And they were getting penalties and fines from the IRS. Man, so it's a good thing for a lot of people who love to do bartending and customer service.
Tax cut in history for American, the working middle class group there. Let's be joined right now by Alex Morishanu, a senior policy analyst at the Facts Foundation. Alex, thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. Give me some details. Dive into some of the finer points of this bill. What do you make of it and the impacts it has on those average working Americans?
I think the term beautiful is up to a lot of different people might disagree about that, but this bill is undeniably big. There are a lot of different provisions to cover. The big sort of reason for the bill happening was the scheduled expirations of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, individual tax cuts that were passed in 2017. And so those are extended in both versions of the bill permanently. That lowers income tax rates across the board, makes some changes to major itemized deductions. The standard deduction gets bigger, gets slightly incrementally bigger as well.
It's the same right here. It's the same stuff. I just went on. Nutrition. Look at thrift food plan. What does that mean? Re-evaluation of thrifty food plan. Wow. Modification to SNAP work requirement for able-bodied adults. This is Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry. Availability of standard utility allowance based on receipt of energy assistance. Restriction on internet expense. What does that mean? Match fund requirement. Administrative cost sharing. Alien SNAP eligibility. That's the food stamps. That's the SNAP. We gotta read about it. Effective reference price commodity. This is our forestry, okay. Contracts are right here. These are contracts. You gotta get into one of these and get that loan, get that funded, get that contract. You bid for it. We need you to set nutrition. We need a place to store all the nutrition before we send them to Israel. We need truck drivers. We need people to produce it, franchise it, or open up in a different area. We needed to go to Turkey and open a nutrition place, whatever they need. Research, you already know, those are contracts, energy contracts. This is how you get rich. But it's hard to get up there because you gotta stay in business. You gotta stay. Plus, you can't even get in. It's hard to get a contract. A lot of times, you have to be connected to the military to get these contracts. Committee on Armed Services, that's all day.
In different versions. And you also have some big business provision, pro-investment provisions get extended permanently in the Senate version for new investment in equipment and R&D. But also you've got a lot of other, Trump campaign promises are introduced for a couple years. The overtime, no tax on overtime, no tax on tips.
No tax.
You get a boost for the.
No tax on overtimes. Nurses are going to be making bank. Those RNs, they're already making like $3,000 or $4,000 a week. No tax on overtime. Wow. A lot of people that are up there. I always said salary, getting paid salary was a ripoff.
A standard deduction for seniors instead of the no tax on Social Security idea. There's a lot to cover.
Yeah, and you wrote an article for the Tax Foundation called "The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly" with this big, beautiful bill. And
when everybody sees and gets that no tax on overtime, 35 to 40% of black females will switch from Democrat to Republican when they see their paycheck increase. It's automatic. The Democratic Party might not be in office for a very, 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 very long time.
You mentioned subjective about the beauty nature of it, but it is in fact big. There are also people coming out, even some Republicans, talking about some of the impacts this has had. Can you get into the ugly? What are some of those conversations about? What are some of the points about that in this big, beautiful bill?
I mean, I think the ugly.
You see, the reason why they're saying it's expensive because the bill has a lot of stuff in it, and we gotta fund these bills. We gotta fund each thing. They need our taxes. They need our income, our money. To fund this, each one. Enhancement of the Department of Defense resources for air security. They're gonna say, well, we need $22 billion. Enhancement of resource for nuclear forces. We need $23 billion. Enhanced for Department of Defense resource improvement capability. We need $28 million. Enhancement for Department of Resources and Defense. We need $265 million. That's how they're gonna go. Who's paying for that? He got 900 pages. 900 pages. This stuff goes forever. Who's gonna pay for all this? Don't look at me.
The aspect is the tax code seems like it's going to, on net, get more complicated. Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in 2017, the sort of signature, big policy accomplishment, I guess, of the first Trump term. On net, ended up simplifying the tax code, got rid of a lot of preferences, and simplified tax filing, move people towards a standard deduction. This bill introduces a lot of new sort of targeted provisions at different, different types of income, whether it's no tax on tips or no tax on overtime, as opposed to several other smaller provisions that just sort of generally we're moving in the wrong direction of streamlining the tax code and lowering rates and broadening bases. We do a lot. This bill has a lot of narrowing the base, sort of complexity enhancing moves. Does go after some of the credits passed in the Inflation Reduction Act under the Biden administration. That is a sort of base broadening simplification move. But on the whole, there are, introduces a lot more, new complexity.
Yeah, that is, to say the least, an understatement in terms of the complexities. And one of the components there is the SALT tax, the state and local tax, because the discrepancy between the Senate version and the House version is some $30,000. Do you think they'll be able to square that? And can you talk about maybe each version in terms of its impact on just the average working American?
So on the state and local tax deduction, it looks like, I think in the past, 24 hours, I think, time starts to blur together when you're dealing with one of these reconciliation packages. I think in the past 24 hours that they have moved to make what looks like a deal on the SALT deduction, where the SALT cap is placed at $10,000 permanently, but for the first couple of years, the final Senate bill uses the House bill cap of $40,000 and adjusts it a little bit each year to sort of go along with inflation. So, it looks like the Senate has given some ground to the House. That is another move that sacrifices, I think, the Senate holding the line initially on the SALT cap of $10,000. Not providing the sort of bigger tax benefit to high tax states. I think that, and reducing itemized deduction usage.
It's boring. This is a boring subject, I know, and I'm not helping out.
Returns to the House of Representatives after passing the U.S. Senate, but it appears to be hitting another obstacle with moderate and ultra conservatives.
J.D. Vance's beard was a little bit too unprofessional.
And ultra conservatives. One of those holdouts is South Carolina Congressman Ralph Norman, who's concerned about excessive spending. As he told chief political correspondent Andy Weber, he is unsure how he's going to vote.
Text me.
Brought up concerns about spending, about illegal voting, about Americans who choose not to work, getting a paycheck.
South Carolina Congressman Ralph Norman describing a Wednesday morning meeting at the White House as pleasant and productive. He and several other members of the House Freedom Caucus have argued there's too much spending in the latest version of the Big Beautiful Bill. But after that White House meeting, it appears Norman is open to voting for the legislation.
If a vote were to happen, let's say, in the next hour or so, or this evening, where would your vote be?
It would depend on what we have, the new information we find out over the next hour to 2 hours.
Norman, who voted no on this latest version during a committee.
I wonder, remember, Trump wants a better health care, and they're going to come to Trump with that. We don't want to do that because, I don't know if it's true or not. They say they don't want black people to have. Black people, the reason why they don't want to vote for universal health care is because of black people, but I don't even understand that statement. But we'll see what happens with Trump.
Committee meeting on Tuesday said he could be convinced to change his position depending on how the legislation is implemented. He wants to see different tax subsidies like those for electric vehicles drawn down and overall spending be kept.
That's what got Musk upset. That was hard for Donald Trump. I thought Donald Trump was going to be like, okay, instead of 100% turn around to electric cars, let's do 30%. Let's just keep you in the industry. If people want electric cars, they go to you. We'll give you some subsidies for some losses, maybe just 10%. and you know, but Elon Musk just went in outrage and was like, "You're not gonna give me subsidies. You give the military industry subsidies," because Elon Musk wants to be like the Army, like Boeing, like Ford, where General Dynamics, where you're creating military equipment. He wants to be a military contractor. But I don't know. He comes from the feds. I'm confused. He gets free money already. What? He gets money from the Federal Reserve. So I don't know what kind of money he's looking for. Then he's getting subsidies also. Wow. And then he's getting money from
At a minimum. What assurances do you have that the folks...
He's getting money from Stargate, his satellite.
You talked with would keep their word to make sure there wasn't excessive spending or harm to your constituents?
Well, I trust the president when what he says. I mean, he's whatever he's promised, he's delivered on. He would deliver on the promises that he would make to us.
It remains unclear if the House will be able to...
Why is that? Why? Because Trump's an American, and he cares about America. There's no other way. I mean, it's either you support your country or you're a traitor. A traitor. It's common sense.
To send the big beautiful bill to the president's desk by their preferred deadline of July.
Does a father support his family? Yeah. Does an American support American country? He works for the United States corporation, though. But Trump cares about the United States corporation. But he's trying to bring the American dream into it. But he doesn't know that the U.S. corporation, this is a corporation. We really don't care about the people. But Trump's coming in there and saying, no, you're a public servant. This is a republic. This is how it's supposed to be ran. The taxes go back to the people, not to foreign interests or terrorist groups or transgender or out of the place. The money needs to stay in here. And Trump wants to exhaust the Treasury account. He wants to exhaust the Treasury account and make sure nothing, not even a penny, is going to any of these foreigners or to any of these fraudulents or NGOs and USAIDs and everything. He wants to exhaust the account to the maximum.
Andy Weber, Queen City News.
Queen City News Plus.
You gotta know what they're. You gotta be able to read what's
Here
going
are
on.
four things to know. The first is that the bill is big.
Yes.
Really big. Nearly 1,000 pages of tax cuts, spending reductions, and new outlays for things like the military and the border.
Yeah, which is
Senators
not
have
900
been voting
pages.
on trillions of dollars in spending, with barely any time to check the details, and on hardly any sleep. The compressed timeline and lack of transparency makes it easy to slip in extra provisions, which are hard to get rid of once they become law.
Hold up. You know what? That was wrong how he did them. Look, he said.
For things like the military and the border.
Yeah,
Senators
they
have
hate
been
that.
voting on trillions of dollars in spending, with barely any time to check the details, and
They showed him with a. I don't know what that is though, but for him to be able to get that
hardly
picture.
any sleep.
Hardly any sleep. They showed him with a energy drink in
The
his hand.
compressed timeline and lack of transparency makes it easy to slip in extra provisions.
What kind of a jacket is this? What is this he's wearing? What is this? It looks like it rained and he just walked into the building.
Which are hard to get rid of once they become law.
What? Look at the pockets. What is this? Is this P. Diddy or Kanye West's gear. He's a Democrat. You gotta know a Democrat when you see one. They do these things. They dress like this. They will come out with something where they'll wear a shirt and then they'll wear another shirt and it'll be cut off. The whole left side will be cut off. Yep, that's Democrat. You got they wear a lot of colors. Hairs are colored. Kind of nerdy, foreigner. Third generation or third generation. Yeah, it's the let loose, I'm international and cool kind of attitude, you know. F it, just do it, you know.
One big effect of the bill will be to significantly increase America's budget deficit, which is already huge. It's projected to rise by a cumulative $3 trillion over the next.
But that was what was being sent overseas to foreign entities, NGOs, Saudi Arabia. That was our money going to Israel. Now that money is going to go to us because this is a republic. What we put into the system benefits us and returns to us and returns to our community.
Decade, mainly because the bill makes permanent some of the temporary tax cuts that President Trump signed into law in 2017 and adds some new ones. It also increases spending on defense, border security, and non-renewable energy production. Some forecasters are optimistic that the tax cuts will push more workers into the job.
Let's look at the gas. Let's see if something happened with the gas. Did Trump tell the gas companies to lower the gas price? Let's go find out. Energy and Commerce. Natural gas export funding for Department of Energy loan. Expedite permit. De-risking strategy patrol. Recession related to a certain. Yeah. Recession. See, this is why we need Trump. Look what he did here. He said recessions related to certain Inflation Reduction Act program for energy, which is also gas. Let's find out what that means right here. We gotta know what's going on, man. When you're running a business, you need to know what laws are being passed. Inflation reduction, because they were inflating the prices using COVID. COVID is over. The border dispute with China on the ports is over in Long Beach. Lower the price. Why are the prices still high? Why am I paying $10 for 12 eggs? I'm paying $1 and 20. I'm paying $1.15 for each egg. The greed. Trump should pass a bill fining all businesses that took advantage of the people during COVID and after COVID and after the China and the U.S. dispute on the ports. If they're supposed to lower the price, man, they could hire me for that. I'll take care of that. I'll just go in there and throw the law at everybody, because it's upsetting when you go to a grocery store and you buy 8 items and it's $120. Nothing is under $5. You're trying a cookie costs $4.75. A cookie. That was $4.75. You could get a burger, fries, and Coke with it. Nothing has changed. Everything has shrunk. It's not like the burgers and the fries got bigger. They got smaller, and now they cost more. So we do see, this is why we needed the bill to pass. It benefits us. Environmental. Health Affordable Care Act addressed. Yeah, we read that. Yeah. Homeland Security, we already know that. The border, immigration, parole fees, temporary protection statute fees, visa integrity fee, Form 194 fee. Woo. He's fixing it. A lot of it is all about fixing something. It doesn't need, it's not going to cost more. He's just going in there and repairing it, getting all that fraud out. He needs to fire people too. He needs to get rid of those people on staff who work there. Go in there and get rid of whoever's in there. Whoever is supporting that fraud, who's been doing that fraud for 20, 30 years now, get them out of office. Don't just throw laws in there. We got to go after everybody. Trump should not just send ICE enforcement. He should equip the IRS and forensic special agents with CPAs, armed, all of them armed, and go after businesses that are pushed and known to be under foreign NGOs, foreign cartels, foreign, corporations who are operating in the United States illegally. Also, for them to go and go after people who are taking advantage of people with this fake inflation. We need to teach them a lesson. We need to teach them a lesson. Don't mess around with Americans.
The devil.
She put on a lot of weight.
It explodes our national debt. It militarizes our entire economy, and it strips
She's enjoying
away
that money.
healthcare and
She put on weight.
basic dignity of the American people. For what? To give Elon Musk a tax break and billionaires the greedy taking of our nation. We cannot stand for it, and we will not support it. You should be ashamed.
She don't know what she's talking about, girl. Take your ass back
This
home.
bill is a deal with the devil.
You are
It
the devil.
explodes our national debt. It militarizes our entire economy, and it strips away healthcare and basic dignity of the American people. For what? To give Elon Musk a tax break and billionaires the greedy taking of our nation. We cannot stand for it, and we will not support it. You should be ashamed.
Oh. Redneck. Oh, you thought I was gonna die, huh? You're like, you thought I was going over
I
there.
asked you to pull over. Who the hell are you? I don't give a shit. Are you guys soliciting in this neighborhood? Because you've been chased out here more than once.
That was for soliciting?
Or you guys been
You
soliciting
got
here on
yourself
Segway?
fucking killed. I'm picking up our guy.
You look at him, almost cover himself with rage. You bring my daughter back. Who said you could take my daughter?
This is the video, everybody.
We are missionaries for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We invite you to come to church with us this Sunday. We know that as you make the sacrifice to come to church, that you will be blessed.
Get the fuck. You know what?
This is.
We are missionaries for the Church of Jesus Christ.
I don't want to talk about it. Hey, what happened to the big beautiful bill, man? Oh, let's see what Facebook got going on. So we see that the yay were 207, and the no's were 5, 8, Democrats 212. Damn. If Republican, what the hell? Undercover Democrats right here. Yay 207, the whole Republican Party. Nay 217. So it looks like Democrats won. The nay won, right? But he broke the tie. Okay. Let's see what they gotta say. Well, that's it, guys. It says here, it looks like the House is ready to vote tonight. Yeah, this beer's, he's the Trump. He didn't look like it though, but okay, that's okay. Let's see what Trump.
Likely include a $40,000 SALT deduction, that is, state and local tax deduction. Before 2017, it was unlimited. It then got capped at $10,000, and now $40,000 will help a lot of Californians.
In a place like the Bay Area that has a disproportionate number of people who are itemizers and who are earning a lot of money, but maybe not a lot of money, so sort of under 500,000, but say over 1 or 200 in order for them not to be taking a standard deduction, this amount of money could be substantial.
Thousands of dollars in the pockets of many homeowners and would-be home buyers because they'll be able to deduct more state taxes and property taxes on their federal tax return.
There's a lot of layers in the cake that go into the financing of home purchase or even home ownership. And making a change that makes one of those layers a little bit easier to digest, it could be a game changer both for current homeowners and for individuals that are considering home ownership.
People in California are going to be among the major beneficiaries in the U.S. Both because there's a lot of us in California, there are a lot of affluent people in California, and we have high taxes in California. It might mean that some people who otherwise are just on the margin between, leaving California and staying, it might push them a little bit towards staying.
But other components of the big, beautiful bill could potentially wipe out the benefit.
On the other hand, the amount of tax break, let's say, given to this handful of affluent, but not super affluent people is going to pale in comparison to the Medicaid cuts. This bill will be overwhelmingly negative for California.
But raising the SALT deduction to $40,000 for those who qualify will benefit those taxpayers on their 2025 returns. I'm Leslie Brinkley, ABC 7 News.
Oh, that's part of the big beautiful bill. Guys, thanks for coming by. Please go read it. It's HR1, One Big Beautiful Bill. That's what it's called. Republican on Jody C. From Texas. House budget passed. Senate. See, it says passed. It says introduced. Sign up to it. Sign up to receive. Subscribe to it so that every time a bill is going into the House introduced, you'll get a text message or email, and then when it goes to the House you get another one, and it'll let you know what bills are coming out, so that as you as a United States citizen, you know what's going on in your country, and okay, so now it's going to go to the president, he's going to sign it, and then it's going to become law. So subscribe to this channel, to this site, congress.gov, so that you're informed and you're keeping up with what's going on in your country. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you for coming by. Please subscribe, share, comment, and give me your evaluation on what's going on with my let me know what's going on, what's not going on. Okay? what you think about the event and so forth. Thanks for coming by. Have a good day. Take care.